Hi, welcome to iCannabisRadio. It's Monday night, and that means it's Amy and Georgia. We are so happy to have you here. We're going to have a great show ahead of us. We have our friend Josh Stanley from the Realm of Caring here to talk about how he is going to be able to help Colorado's cancer patients get the medicine that they need. It's an exciting program, and we're really happy to have him here in the studio tonight. Had a little bump along the way, but here we are to talk to you. You know, I've said this since we started way back when, that my favorite thing about doing the show is I get to talk to my friends. And what a better thing to do. Oh, I know, right?
It's a little heart fight.
We have some love going on. And you know, I am proud to say that the Stanleys are some very close friends of the Edsons, and whether or not Josh was one of our very close friends, we would have him here because what Josh is doing right now is so important to and for medical marijuana patients. But before we get into the new nonprofit that you're starting and the work that you're doing, I want to go back in time just a little bit to. That was really good. That was good back in time music.
World,
I love that.
Wayne's
I'm there.
World. Come on.
I'm there.
I'm a stoner chick. I know it.
Top 10 stoner movies. Number 10. But you had a meeting with my husband, and out of that meeting, you guys somehow decided that you would start a medical marijuana business. Is that sort of what happened?
Well, gosh.
Best idea ever. By the way.
Yeah. I've been wanting to kick him in the butt for a long time for that. You know, we're going way back. The true story of how this happened was, and it's not just me wanting to kick Warren. It's my wife Rochelle wanting to kick me. But we were on our beach in Thailand. We go stay at this real simple place every year, and we're sitting there. We're planning on going to Costa Rica and really putting our savings into our business down there, a development company, and building houses and just, you know, calling it a day. And about that time, we're sitting at breakfast talking about this whole exit strategy. And this is in January, and we were planning on leaving in May of what was this, 2007 or 2008. And I said, "Oh, honey, while we're waiting on our food, I'm gonna go check my email." And so I go check the email, and I get an email from Warren saying, "Oh my goodness, you know, this is the best business opportunity ever. You got to take a look at this thing." And he got me so pumped up just on an email. And so my head, you know, my chin hit my chest. I went, "Oh no!" And I was so pumped. I went back to breakfast. I said, "Honey, we're not going to Costa Rica. I'm going to open up a medical marijuana dispensary." And she said, "Oh man," she asked me, you know, if I'd gotten into the moron bend, and I said, "No, we're gonna do it," and it turned out to be the best maybe thing I could have ever done, and then at times, you know, it turned out to be the worst thing I could have ever done. But I got to see the gamut of medical marijuana, and that's where I consider ourselves fortunate. Not just Rochelle and myself, but my brothers and my family. You know, my brothers Joel, Jesse, Jonathan, Jordan, and Jared. They jumped into this. They jumped in head first with me.
You've been holding out on me.
Hey, yeah. A couple of them are actually single, and they're all crazy.
They got nice. Never mind.
Have you seen me?
Well, one of them. Joy, one of them's got a really nice behind. Georgia can vouch for that. She likes to pinch it.
Busted.
I asked for that, and I apologized, and I knew it would come back and bite me. So anyway, moving on.
Well, I'm blessed with the best family, and my brothers have been in. I'm the oldest of the 11 kids, and I was in real estate development. And I was in buying and selling houses in the Denver area, and my brothers would help me, and they were partners with me. And overnight, the real estate market collapsed, and we had a family meeting, and I just got done breaking my back in a paragliding accident, and had been 6 months addicted to pain pills. And finally, Rochelle came to me and said, "That's it, pain pills are me." And it was a really dark part of my life. My brothers were even helping in it, and so all this kind of came into one. A friend of mine threw me a tincture of medical marijuana, and within 3 weeks, I was off pain pills and never taken a pain pill again.
I never heard that story before.
Yeah, and that's really what got me into it. So when we had our family meeting, we sat there, and even my mom is involved in family meetings. We're an incredibly close family.
Yeah.
And we get in with my mom, and I said, Mom, you're not going to like this, but the Stanley family's getting into medicinal cannabis. And she said, you're right. I don't like that at all. And I said, it'll take some time to sink in. And now my mom, 3.5, 4 years later, is our biggest volunteer, our biggest supporter. Nice. She's seen what it's done for people. She's seen it turn people around. And 3 years ago, we knew what Rick Simpson was doing. And if people aren't familiar with who Rick Simpson is, he's the person that pioneered what's called the Phoenix Tears, or the concentrated cannabis oil. And he's a person that pioneered this and came out and treated and cured 1,500 cancer patients. He was asked to leave Canada, can't even come back to Canada or the United States. It's a real tragedy.
For curing cancer patients.
For curing cancer
I can understand
patients.
why they wouldn't want him back.
Yeah, what a criminal.
Right.
Yeah, what a real ass that Rick Simpson turned out to be, And he didn't ask for anything in return. And his story, after we'd seen so many stories of people turn their lives around through medicinal cannabis, whether it was through epilepsy, MS, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, cancer, severe pain, arthritis, we've seen the gamut.
Yeah.
And we've been blessed in that regard to see so many people benefit from this. That we said, one of these days, the Stanley family is going to pick up where Rick Simpson left off. And that day is now. I owned and operated 5 medical marijuana dispensaries. I got kicked out of 4 of them. Local. I mean, you want to talk about bad luck. 4 of them. So finally, I'm left holding 1. I said, you know what? If they're going to kick me out of all these places, I'm just going to give this away. And my brothers had 3 in the Springs. They got a Walsh letter. They got 2 now. Ooh. And that's when we came together and we said, they try to push us out. And in fact, what we've wanted to do is show people that cancer that the oil works for cancer, and we're going to do it now. And for the last 3.5 years, we've had stones thrown at us from the legislature and from people a lot of activists thinking that we're out for regulation. And point of fact, we weren't. We were trying to minimize that level of regulation. But every legislator that I talked to had said, we want proof. We want proof. And it wasn't just the armies of people coming, and saying this benefits me, this helps me, because, I get it for them. That's anecdotal. Although it should be enough, right, because that's their constituents, they wanted proof, and they still do. And so we're going to give them that proof. So we started what's called the Realm of Caring Foundation. And this foundation is the first of its kind, to my knowledge, in this known universe. And the way that it works is my brothers and myself, we donate the product, the medical marijuana, to turn into the cannabis oil. It then goes into making the oil, and we have to have a paper trail. So the MMED has said we have to charge for this oil. We have a problem with that, but we said, okay, fine, we'll charge for the oil. And so we'll sell a pound of the oil to the manufactured infused product license for 1 penny. Then that manufactured infused product service will take that and turn the oil and then sell it back to the dispensary for 2 pennies. And then the cancer patients that want to enroll in the Realm of Caring program will purchase that 10 cc vial, retail about $550 for 3 pennies. Then it doesn't stop there. Okay, the proof that I was talking about. Now these patients have agreed to go in and see Dr. Shackelford, one of my heroes, one of my all-time heroes.
He gets another red face.
Uh-huh.
I love Shaq.
I love Shaq. I love him. And he's agreed to do follow-ups with these patients, and the patients agree to do follow-ups with Dr. Shackelford.
At no cost.
At no cost. That's correct.
Yeah.
Now, they do follow-ups, so now what Shackelford can do is he can go in and do observational studies. Okay? Now, these aren't in-depth scientific, we're talking UCLA-type laboratory studies, but they are, in a sense, some double-blind work and things like this. So now he can do his observational research studies, which can be published, and then we can also work with the patient's primary care physicians, those that will work with us. We can order the white blood counts. We can check on the platelets and see where those are. And so finally, we're going to have the proof that these legislators have been screaming for. Not just legislators, but the general public and the general naysayers. It's going to feel real good to not only help these people for next to no money, but it's going to feel even a lot better to take it and shove it down the throats of some of these people, especially in Fort Collins. You know, Ray Martinez, my old buddy.
Oh, friends forever.
Oh yeah, you know, yeah. Oh yeah. I man, gosh, I wish my little brother could take his daughter to the prom. Yeah, that'll get him.
Now.
Well, I won't go any further. I want these people to see what they've been missing out on. And
well, to understand, I mean, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I think part of what your frustration is that they've blocked themselves from listening to facts and have gotten caught up in propaganda and fear mongering, and so what you're hoping to do is to serve them facts on a silver platter. And how can you listen to patients who are getting well and not be moved? And how can that not change your outlook on this medicine? And that's what needs to happen to someone like Ray Martinez. I mean, he is so sure that teenagers are buying from medical marijuana centers. He's positive of it. Yet there's never been a single solitary piece of evidence to show that that's happening.
That's correct. That's right. And it's people like that all it is propaganda. They live on their propaganda, okay? They live on their fear. You could take every fight out of their agenda, and they go have to find another one to fight. That's what the way these people operate. And we've taken patients to him. We've gone to his rallies against us and said, would you please meet with these patients? He flat out said no. He doesn't want to meet with these patients. So now if we serve this up on a silver platter and we show results where we're showing melanomas and all kinds of different cancers being eaten away by this oil, will he look? I don't know. But it'll certainly make it a lot harder for him to look away.
Well, and the rallies that you're talking about are Fort Collins Initiative 300, which chose to ban medical marijuana centers in Fort Collins. And their whole shtick was they didn't want Fort Collins to go to pot. And in my estimation, which I think is an accurate estimation, they were not telling the truth to the constituents and to the voters by saying this would ban medical marijuana, when in reality, all it did was ban the regulated medical marijuana that people can purchase in a storefront. Caregivers are still legal in Fort Collins and continue to be a fine way to purchase medical marijuana, albeit unregulated and not exactly probably what people thought that they were voting for when they voted for Proposition 300.
That's right. Every person that I talked to after or before or during the rally that he would throw, for Proposition 300, they were so excited because there was going to be no more marijuana in their town. They'd come up and say, yeah, we're doing the Lord's work here, and marijuana is leaving Fort Collins. And these people would believe that.
Right.
They would walk out of these rallies with their heads held high because they had exonerated marijuana. And I said, does it make you want to question the fact that you're only getting rid of regulated, taxed, responsible marijuana, medical marijuana, as opposed to what's going to be grown in the basement next door? Well, Sonny, what do you mean is what they'd say. We're getting rid of marijuana.
Called you Sonny.
Well, most of them were that old,
Couple times.
Yeah, but that's Fort Collins. It's a very conservative area.
But
That vote was done before we started.
What's unfortunate to me is that it's also full of actually a lot of intellect. And the problem is that we weren't able to access that intellect. It was so bombarded with, again, that propaganda that people already believe, because there is a generation even older than me who believe that who believe in reefer madness and believe in schizophrenia is caused by marijuana, and people who smoke marijuana have two-headed babies. I mean, there's a whole contingent of the population that believes that, but they're also really smart people. And if we were able to pull away Ray Martinez and put in Josh Stanley, and you were able to provide those facts, then it would have made an enormous difference. Unfortunately, they didn't want to pull away the Ray Martinez. They weren't willing to do that to listen to the facts.
No, they weren't. And I think a lot of people, I've received actually a lot of emails from people after, especially our show on National Geographic, apologizing.
By the way,
which we'll talk about right after.
Segue in a second.
Yeah. They've sent me emails apologizing for their vote, and there are people that have actually wanted to learn more, and these are some school teachers and some Colorado abuse counselors. So I'm encouraged by that.
That is encouraging. We're gonna take just a couple minutes break to thank our sponsors, and we're gonna do some repeats from our almost show a few minutes ago. You're listening to iCannabis Radio with Amy and Georgia and our special guest Josh Stanley. We'd like to thank one of our favorite sponsors, Noda Urban Garden Supply. Noda Urban Garden Supply is downtown Denver's finest hydroponic and organic supply center. Located at 1330 27th Street in Denver, 80205. Phone number is 303-296-3424. This is the wonderful, wonderful grow store. Has all your favorite supplies. Roots Organic, Fox Farm, the drill. Go visit our friend Levi, who will be sure to give you a great deal if you say you heard about Noda Urban Garden Supply on iCannabis Radio. Don't forget, they have compost tea free for all their customers. Bring in your container, or actually I donate all my milk jugs, so you don't have to do that. Noda Urban Garden Supply, located at 1330 27th Street in Denver. Hours are Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., and now Saturday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And thank you to Medical Marijuana of the Rockies, your mountain source for meds, the best clones immature plants in the state. Check out mmrockies.com for an ever-changing plant selection of the strains that are available that day. Open 7 days a week from 10 a.m. to 6:45 p.m. Medical Marijuana of the Rockies is located 1 minute off of I-70 at exit 203 in Frisco. Go to the third stoplight, make a right, and make an immediate left into the parking lot next to Carlos Miguel's Mexican restaurant, who ought to be giving us some free food for all the
I agree.
pushing I do of their restaurant. Medical Marijuana of the Rockies. It's worth the drive for the mountains, and the clones are a bonus. That's mmrockies.com.
Experience the healing power of flowers at the 2011 Best Meds Competition winner in Colorado Springs. Canna Caregivers off North Academy Boulevard and the Canna Center on Power south of Constitution. Call us at 719-597-6685 or 719-597-9333. Mention you heard this ad on Normal Radio and receive half off any CC concentrate purchase.
Sarah's Medicated Teas. With over 50,000 tea bags sold, Sarah's Medicated Teas have quickly become the most popular and effective way to medicate without smoking. Tea bags are made with loose leaf tea and fine hash keef, separated into 4 med bases in 1/3 and 1 full gram strengths. Our keef infusion process has a consistent dose in each bag. Sarah's Medicated Teas come in 20 flavors. Enjoy hot or over ice. Sarah's Medicated Teas can be found in MMJ centers across the state of Colorado. Check out our website at www.mmjfarm.com. www.mmjfarm.com. Sarah's Medicated Teas. When you need to medicate, it's tea time.
Trouble with the law, or maybe you're looking to start a medical marijuana business? The law firm of Edson, Mayton, and Matz can help. Attorneys Warren Edson, Lauren Mayton, and Chris Matz offer a wide range of criminal defense-related assistance and cannabis legal services. Call the team of legal professionals ready to help you or your business out today. 303-831-8188. That's 303-831-8188. Or check out the website, warrenedson.com. That's warrenedson.com.
I'm Gary Johnson, and you're listening to iCannabis Radio, and I want to say, talk it up, Colorado.
Welcome back, welcome back. You're listening to Amy and Georgia on iCannabis Radio. And just so you know, we are thinking about a name for our show. We're thinking about it.
We only think about it while we're here, and then we walk out, and we're like, oh, so task list, remember that. And then we both walk in next Monday, so.
How's our name coming? Yeah. Anyway, we are in the studio with Josh Stanley. Josh Stanley just started with his brothers, who names all start with J. There's a whole bunch of them. And they just started a wonderful nonprofit called The Realm of Caring. And The Realm of Caring's idea is to provide cannabis oil to cancer patients and be able to follow them and ensure that the progress that they're making is being documented, because our government doesn't seem to think it's okay to actually do research on on cannabis, and there have been so many ancillary studies and ideas that really show that that cannabis cures cancer, and it's really not that difficult.
Yeah, you're right. Cannabis certainly can cure cancer, and it makes me laugh that the government, they don't get in the way of any of the other nutraceuticals. They don't, get in the way of echinacea or ginkgo biloba or any of these kinds of things, because it doesn't threaten, the fabric of a pharmaceutical industry. And if you think about cannabis, it saddens me so much, because we and my brothers and we've seen so many cancer patients not only benefit, and some outright their tumors have disappeared, but in many they just they have a better quality of life as they reach the end, and that's really what we're here for. So if you close your eyes for a second and you think about yesterday, think about this plant being found in the Amazon yesterday, and by 48 hours from yesterday, you're going to have a pharmaceutical bio land grab for this thing because of all the benefits that it does. Not just the industrial benefits, but all of the health benefits. But since we've been living under the propaganda for almost 85 years now, it's something that we fear. And it's unfortunate that the general populace in the United States are taught to fear this plant that does so many amazing things. And they're taught to fear it. Why? Well, because the government tells you to.
I agree.
I think that's a really unfortunate lesson in government mandate. Because if the government tells me something, I tend to turn around and question that. So a lot of people have asked me and said, well, how can you say, okay, you're helping people, you're giving out this oil, these people's cancer has gone away, yet you're not a pharmacist. This is not FDA approved. It's not AMA approved. It's not DEA approved. And I said, well, first off, two things. No, I'm not a pharmacist, and all we're giving away to these people is we're giving away a 100% natural herbal medication. If it were FDA approved or AMA or DEA, we'd have to have disclaimers, because it would be chemically altered, that it caused anal bleeding or premature death or something like that.
It doesn't cause anal bleeding or premature death.
Nope. In fact, no reported deaths ever.
Not one reported death ever. In fact, when we talk about safety ratios from the AMA, we look at Percocet, which is a 1 to 10, meaning you could eat up to 10 and overdose. You look at Vicodin, which is 1 to 12. You look at morphine, it's 1 to 6. And then you look at cannabis, and it's 1 to 10,000. Meaning you could put yourself in a barn with a fork and a knife, and you couldn't even go to town enough. Now you may think you're dying, but you're getting nowhere near it.
My favorite is that it's unfortunate, but that more people have died from peanut allergies.
Yes.
More water.
From water intoxication.
Hyponatremia. Like you
Say that
can
again?
hyponatremia. You can alter the pH balance in your body by drinking too much water. Your cells will literally explode and you will die. A very painful death, mind you. So
Not from cannabis.
But not from cannabis.
So
you know.
the realm of caring, the sole purpose is to get medicine to cancer patients.
The sole purpose, it's a multi-layered approach here. The sole purpose is to get medicine to cancer patients. And it's not just cancer patients who can't afford it, okay? I call anybody who's been diagnosed with cancer worthy of an indigent program. Any cancer patient. If you get cancer, even if you have the best insurance in the United States, you're still going broke.
Right.
You just can't afford it. And so it's our goal to get this medicine to these patients for 3 pennies of what would originally cost $550 per vial of oil. So that's why people say, and legislators that I've talked to say, why has nobody done this before? And I said, well, it's because it's a business, it's an industry. And we've been able to divide our business up as such where we can sell our flowers and our edibles, and it's taken us 3 years, but 3 years now we can take care of 50 cancer patients a month. Then the second tier approach of this is that the patients agree to go in and see Dr. Shackelford once, twice, and even 3 times sometime, depending on the severity of their illness, for follow-up research and study. So that they say, okay, listen, we're going to get this oil, but we're going to go and we're going to figure out why we feel better. We're going to figure out why our white blood counts are improving. We're going to figure out why our tumors decreasing, because we can go say it all day long in D.C. or in the Colorado legislature. we can go and scream it. And they said, well, we want to see proof. And so I'm tired of going and just saying cannabis works.
Right.
And then having people stage protest out on the lawn, and blowing smoke in policemen's face. That doesn't help us. So I'd like to come up with the proof and then say, Mr. Congressman, Mrs. Congressman, whoever it is, here's the proof, here's the patients. This is why we need more research on this, and this is also why we should probably relax the rules and regulations that have gotten so ridiculous as of late.
Rescheduling.
Well, rescheduling, but don't descheduling. If you reschedule, remember they go for a Schedule 2, then it's only pharma companies that can touch it.
So descheduling. So right now, I mean, we are really happy to be talking about this on iCannabis Radio, and you were on the Thursday night show as well. This is all very new. This is happening very quickly. You're in the process of building your website.
Yes.
And you're in the process of holding your first fundraiser, which is going to happen in May.
Yes,
and
correct.
On May 20th is a tentative date right now. We'll definitely give out more information. But if people want to help, which I know that they do, the best way to reach you is probably your email. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. It's really easy. Right now we're setting up the website. We'll have all of that completed. But you can get a hold of me anytime if you want to help, you want to volunteer, you want to donate, whatever.
You're a cancer patient, you want to know more?
You're a cancer patient, you want oil, you want to know more, we want to help you.
Yeah.
And you can get a hold of me. My email is gratefuljosh@hotmail.com. That's GRATEFUL, Josh@hotmail.
It's Grateful
okay.
Josh.
Do you have
Great.
AIDS patients as well?
Yes, absolutely. We help AIDS, HIV patients. We have several, and the oil has proven to be absolutely incredible. And Niles, right?
Yes.
Niles, let me get you some oil this week. See what you think. Have you tried it before?
I've tried oil. It works.
All right.
Really well for pain.
Yeah. Let me
Better than flour.
get with me and let me have you try some of the Realm oil.
That would be great. That would be great. So we're going to shift gears just a little bit and talk about something else that's kind of interesting that's going on for you and your brothers. You guys agreed to do a show with National Geographic, and for those people who are involved in the cannabis movement at all in Colorado, we've all seen 800 cameramen at every single event for quite some time. But you agreed to have them follow you around and be with you for quite a period of time, and the show has started airing. I think the fourth episode airs this week. Is that right?
I think it's the 6th. Yeah, the 6th this week.
Oh, I'm behind. Sorry.
You're a mom. It's okay.
It was a 10-episode series that they came in and they asked us. They said after 9 months of filming, I don't know how they managed to pull this off, but after 9 months of filming, they didn't have enough to air, and they said, we just found you and your brothers, and we'd like to film with you every day for the next 90 days, so we could fill up 6 of these 10 episodes. And at first we said, you're out of your mind. There's no way. We don't have time to do this and that. And then when we sat down with the executives and we said, listen, if we can do it this way, and we can present the fact that all we're really doing is trying to do 2 things: help patients and keep our business open. Because they wanted to go and focus on the the Fort Collins fight, and that was okay with us. So we did 6 episodes, and then the last 4 don't have the Stanley brothers. So the first 6 were kind of about us, and then the last 4, I have no idea.
I'm a little nervous now, unfortunately.
Right. So the topic has really been, as we talked about a little bit earlier, was 300, and you're working diligently to educate people in Fort Collins about what banning medical marijuana dispensaries would do, and then the opposition. So have you watched the episodes? Are you avoiding it?
That's a yes.
I've only seen 2. I've seen 2 is all. Because I got home and we turned the TV on and started watching it. And even my brother said, because we were on vacation for a while, and we came back, and my brother said, you don't even want to watch this. We look like a bunch of morons.
No.
And I watched one, and I thought he was right.
And then you watched another.
And I
just
did.
To
I
prove
watched
the
another
point.
just to make sure, it wasn't as bad as the last, and it was worse. And then this Wednesday is the one that kind of wraps it up. And this Wednesday is the one that it really just kind of shows our response to the loss in Fort Collins. And it also is going to show, where we lost we lost 2 stores in the matter of a month, one in Fort Collins and one with the Walsh letter in Colorado Springs. And February was a brutal, brutal month for the Stanley brothers. And I don't know that I want to watch that again. I don't know that I want to relive
You're
it.
like, once was enough.
It was, yeah. I mean, I saw one. They had me crying on one even, and the thing is they were filming me, and then my patients were in the background, and they've been crying all day, okay, because the vote had already happened, and they're filming me, and the camera's looking at me, and I can see beyond my patients bawling their eyes out because they didn't know where they were going to go to get their meds anymore. And then that got me, and I started bawling too. The camera, I said, "All right, shut this off.
They love that.
Don't put this on TV." And they're like, "Oh yeah, sure, we
I'm a
won't."
man. I do not cry.
Sure.
Yeah.
It was clear to me. I mean, I didn't realize I had watched 5 episodes, but clearly I had because I've seen them all. But what was clear to me, first of all, is leave Jared alone.
Well, you mean the one that you pinched his butt? Is that the same one?
Leave him alone.
That was twice. That was twice in one episode. High five on that.
I'm just saying, you guys being the youngest. I understand what it feels like. Leave him alone. So there's that.
Well, we'll see, because Nat Geo's approached us about doing some more work with them about this foundation we've been talking about tonight, about Realm of Caring. And one of my stipulations is you leave the bongs out, and we make this about the oil and the cancer patients. And so we're 75% of the way there. We'll see what happens.
Nice.
But in the next one, we're going to pick on Jared Debble.
Well, I was actually going to say that that what was so clear to me, and not just with you guys, I mean, definitely with the Stanley brothers, but also with the other dispensary owners, the other MMC owners, that the reason why you do what you do is not financial. It's absolutely the social responsible thing to do. And I think that if nothing else from this series, that's how I feel the industry was portrayed. That's how I feel you guys were portrayed, and I'm thankful for that.
Georgia, thank you for saying that, because that's something that most people don't get. And it's not just people in Colorado. There's still people, in Colorado that think we're raking in millions, but certainly everybody nationally looks at us and says, "Oh, these guys grow pot. These guys, they sleep on money." I mean,
Their bed is made out of money.
Yeah, I mean, they've got it coming out of their ears. And the thing is, at the beginning of the show, we talked about your husband, who I still can't stand for getting me into this. But we talked about the fact that we went into this as a business. I think a lot of people saw what was the green rush. It took me about 6 months to realize I was going to go fairly broke doing this. And that was 3.5 years ago. And all I've done is push the gas pedal since. Yeah. And even my wife had looked at me and said, "You are out of your mind. Where is our money going?" I'm like, "It's going to a good cause." And so I looked at this, and I saw the difference we were making in people's lives. And when I saw that difference, nothing could stop us at that point in time. And my brothers are the same way. And that's why we've come to the point. My brother made a joke today, and he said, "What are we doing?" We got less money now than when we started, and now we're going to start giving it away. And I said, "Well, doesn't it make sense?" And he says, "Yeah, it does." So it truly is about the patients. It's about making people better. It's about bringing this to light. It's about education. And I always tell people, even the activists and people that don't tend to like me so much, I have to tell them, guys, if you spend less time activating and more time educating, then that's where we get someplace. Activation goes perpendicular to understanding, and it just bangs its head against walls. Education goes horizontal, and pretty soon the lines cross, and that's when the light goes on. And that's all we can keep doing. And that's what the Realm is going to do. That's what the Stanley brothers are going to do. And I hope that that's the direction the industry takes, because we feel so blessed just to be able to help these patients.
I feel like it is transitioning to that point. People are able to take a moment and reflect and examine people around them rather than just themselves because they're panicking. You kind of remind me of this quote that I actually just flagged last night, so it's kind of interesting. It's a Maya Angelou quote, and it says, "When you learn, teach. When you get, give." So what you
Precisely.
said basically was exactly that. You just reminded me of it. But I feel like some people responsible with the social needs of the industry and the community are realizing, just like you, that they need to step it up and be here to help people, because it's not just about money and you can't take it with you.
Well, and for all intents and purposes, those that have thought that this industry was going to make them millions have either made money or left, because it didn't, because it's a lot of frustration.
Or both.
Or both. It's a lot of frustration. But I mean, I go to work every day because I'm so attached to our patients. I mean, I don't care, anything else other than they're feeling all right and they're doing all right. I mean, I call people and just say, God, are you okay? I mean, you can't help but feel that way when you're in this for the right reasons. And so you guys made the natural next step. It's the natural progression for how much you care about making sure that the right thing happens for patients.
That's right. We said you can kick us out of every county, every
They
city,
have.
and they have.
4 out of 5.
Yeah, they're 4 for 5 on us, and I finally sold the last one. And I said, if we're gonna, I told Joel, my brother, I said, if we're really gonna come out and do this cancer program, they've kicked me out of everywhere. I might as well sell my last center, which I did. And so now I can say, all right, come after me now, okay? Now you really want to come after me, go for it. You really, you want to keep following me, keep tapping my phones. If it's really that important to America's security that I'm going to go after and try to take care of cancer patients, now all I own is a nonprofit, okay? I don't even own it. I'm a manager of a nonprofit. Take your shot, because I'm not stopping until the world knows what this can do for people.
Thank you, and we appreciate that, and we want to support you as much as we can and help you as much as we can. As we said earlier, the website is under construction, and so as soon as that's up and running, we'll be happy to give that information out. And I know that the information on the fundraiser on the May 20th will be on the website as well. We will also publish that information on iCannabis.com. And we hope that you will be on before your fundraiser again to talk more about what's going on and how patients can get involved. And by that time, the website will be up and running, and there'll be a way for people to be able to donate online and learn more about it. And I'm proud of you.
Oh, Georgia, thank you so much. And, I'd love to come on before that fundraiser. And then by that time, in the next couple of weeks, I'd like to have a couple of our patients come on, if you would, and let them, tell you how the oil works. But first and foremost, I want to thank you guys for having me on. It's an honor to be on here. It's an honor to even be in this position to help people. So thank you for what you're doing. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Well, as usual, warm fuzzies on iCannabis Radio. Yeah, it's been a nice night. Started off a little rough, but you can't be upset when you've got an organization like the Realm of Caring that is going to provide so much for people who need it so desperately.
Agreed.
Yeah. Next week, we are going to have a pretty fun show. We are going to have the Reverend Baker come on to talk about the film festival that they're having to kick off 420 week, the film festival at Castleman's. And we also will have 2 tickets to give away to the 3-day event, which is really fun. And then the week after that, we are going to have a pretty fun High Times extravaganza, getting prepared for the Cannabis Cup.
So not prepared.
So not prepared, she says. So not I'm ready. I don't know what I need to do, but whatever it takes, I'm ready. I'm ready. I don't need to do anything other than be there. So I'm ready. And I'm not a media person.
I kind of hate you right now.
Oh,
Not gonna lie.
I think
Tiny little part.
I think you're
it's like
pretty.
in my big toe.
You're super pretty, and you're really smart.
Wow. I want to do another shout out for another great patient group, just like one of the ones we just spoke about. There is a event at Haters. Yes, I said Haters.
With a Y.
It's at Haters with a Y. So it's extra thug. Okay, apparently Amy's never having an event there. Thursday the 29th, so this Thursday the 29th, there is the One Love for Boehner event, and this is a fundraiser to raise legal fees for the Boehner case. And if you're not familiar with it, this involves your rights as a patient in relation to public employment and drug testing. So please, please come out and support. Whiskey Tango will be there playing. It's a great band.
You should see Amy with some whiskey. Difference. Well, anyway.
Yeah, craving that right now. But it will be a good time. Please, please do come out. And I think that about wraps it up for our announcements. So now time to thank our sponsors.
Absolutely.
I like how I end that in a question.
Thank our sponsors.
So tonight's sponsors: Canna Caregivers, Sarah's Teas, Mile High Wellness, Medical Marijuana of the Rockies, No Dough Urban Garden Supply, Edson Maton and Mats LLP, Medical Marijuana 101, and of course, as always, Run on Grass.
Yay. And don't forget the next Patients at a Time event is going to be May 6th at Jake's. It's going to be a Mother's Day, pre-Mother's Day brunch. There will be more information that we will share, and we will put that on our website as well. Wow, thank you so much for listening.
I'm Amy.
I'm Georgia, and you've been listening to iCannabis Radio. Good night.
Good night.